There we
Hey
go.
everybody, it's your girl Charlotte Van Horn, Black Expats in Panama, by way of Little Old Glassboro, New Jersey. You know it right here on BlackSipradio.com. I've been missing y'all. So I'm back today, and I ain't got time to sit and chit chat and smile because I have Daron and Dayna Graves with us, and they're going to tell us all about their life in Pedasi, right, guys?
Tennessee, yes.
Pedasi. I always get mixed up whether it's Pedasi or Pedasi. A lot of people have been asking about that area. So the cute thing about Daron and Dayna is that y'all met when y'all were 7 and 11.
Yeah.
7 and 11. So
7 and 11.
You met. So okay. So let me go up a little bit. You're Black expats in Panama. Let me say that. I'm just gonna let them introduce themselves, y'all. But what is so cute, they met when they were 7 and 11, and you got married in 2017.
Correct.
So y'all got to tell us, where was y'all at all them years in between 7 and 11 and 2017? So go ahead.
Well, I'm going to tell the story because she tells it better than I do.
Well,
Okay.
we both have our own version, of course. That's a lot of years. That was 38 years between. So an entire lifetime and marriages and children. And we finally got together, and I waited 38 years for that first kiss, and it was worth it.
Oh,
What she's not telling you, Charlotte, is her sister ran me off.
Her sister ran you off?
Her sister ran me off. I came back for her when I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
And her sister charged out the house, grabbed her by her ponytail, and jerked her away from me.
And I went in the house screaming, doing helicopter arms. No, let me go. And I never stood up to my sister. She was a bit of a tormentor, a bit of a bully, but then she was just being the big sister too. So, hindsight, you understand what the big sister role is, but I never stood up to her until that day. And we never physically fought after that.
So we never got together as youngsters. We got together as adults.
Then you got together as adults.
After our marriages, she got divorced. And then about 20 years later, I got divorced.
Yeah. His marriage lasted a lot longer than mine. Mine produced, I have 3 children, and Daron has 2 children.
Okay, y'all was almost the Brady Bunch.
almost, right? But we would bump into each other periodically, like every decade. And because our love was like prohibited, we kind of just would stop and just stare at each other and like not know what to say. And
there was a 19-year gap between the last time I saw her in 1977 and I saw her again in, I think it was 96.
Well, that was after I had already divorced and I was a mother of 3, just getting my life started, going to college and just taking that whole responsibility on. And I was all fired up. I was newly divorced and running 3 miles every morning. I was in shape. I was looking good, girl.
Okay, you're still looking good. You're still looking good.
I was into this man at the zoo, of course, because where else would I find him after having a history of love of animals and adventure. And, when you're a mother with young children, that just is the place to go. And I bumped into him and he walked in front of me and I was like, the first love of my life, and you're just going to walk past me and not even say hi.
What year was that?
Dayna?
That was 96.
That was in 96.
But you were still married.
I was on my second reconciliation at that time.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this guy is too good to be true. I knew it from the time I was little that he was going to be a keeper, the kind of person he was going to be. I knew that for me, he was going to be my first kid, my boyfriend, my husband, the father of my children, white picket fence, the whole thing that a little child imagines. But had pretty much given up on that dream, and he kind of became caricaturized in my imagination and my memory because he was so perfect. He was such a good kid.
Not perfect.
He was a good kid.
Yeah, perfect for her.
he was very comfortable in his skin. He would do a lot of the activities that a lot of people, said, this kid does that. Well, yeah, he was into doing things that were in nature, like fishing and hunting and things like that.
And politely, she's telling me I was kind of a weirdo.
Wear corduroys in the summertime. But he was my weirdo, and I loved him. I was in love with him from the age, very young age. And so, but God knows what we're ready for and when we're ready for it. And I just had a lot of growing to do before I could appreciate him. But I knew that he would be the kind of man that would stick around and be a great father. And so when I bumped into him and he told me he was married and had 2 children, I was like, oh, very nice to see you. I really love you and respect you. And whoever this woman is has to be heads and tails, like just so much better than me. I could never compare.
Wow.
But I really had put him on a pedestal. I was like, he's such a good guy. I'm the naughty one.
You should never put people on a pedestal.
I will never be the woman that he would need. Like really, like I didn't think that I could rise myself to that level.
Wow. So now tell me this. Okay, so I think when I first talked to y'all, Daron, you were either just about to retire or you had already retired because you had like a job at the zoo that not many Black men hold, right? Did I remember?
Right. You're right. I think I was just about to retire. I think I was still working it when we talked the first time.
Okay.
I believe so anyway.
But y'all had came here for your honeymoon. I didn't remember that.
Well, that was back in 2017.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were on a cruise, a 15-day cruise that passed through the Panama Canal.
Did y'all get off or did you stay for a little while?
We got off in Balboa, I think.
We got off in Colón.
We got off in Colón and Balboa, I think.
And this was 6 years before we moved here. Like we had no clue whatsoever when we stopped in Colón that we would meet you. We would go tour Colón. We would learn about the vast history that we only could superficially see from a cruise because they don't allow you to stay for long. So you're not going to get that history. And that was like a deciding factor for us. We were like, 15 days for me was too long on anybody's boat. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to go somewhere and actually learn the culture and spend time. And, that's what coming to Panama and coming through BEIP has afforded us. A whole lot more information and understanding of the culture and where we were. Like we were totally clueless.
And when we went to Isla Mamig with you back in 2022, I believe, we took a picture in front of that Colón sign. We took one on our honeymoon, and then we took one when we went on that trip with you. And it was almost 5 years to the day after our marriage. So it was like our 5th wedding anniversary. Took the same picture in front of the same sign.
Oh, crazy. That is awesome.
And it was all by mistake, really.
Sometimes I have so many stories in my head, with so many Black expats here. But I remember talking to you guys initially and learning about being, working for the zoo and stuff. Now, Dayna, you were an educator.
Yes, ma'am. I have a 24-year history in education. I got into education because, as I said, I was a divorced mother of 3, and I was very determined to shape my life around my children. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. I taught Spanish and ESL in high school for the first, 10 years of my career, and then elementary ed for the last 14. And I just kind of never got out of it. You know how you find yourself in a career based on what your children are, your requirements are, but then you just it gets comfortable. And then you also get older. So it's like, better stay still and, pay into the Social Security and keep your benefits and all those things that keep us locked in roles in our lives.
Yes.
And I had been in that holding pattern for a while, and I kind of lost the passion for what I really loved, which was Spanish. And
Okay.
Spanish for
Are
me
you
was a
Hispanic?
No, I'm not at all Hispanic. I guess I'm honorary Hispanic or Latina when they want to adopt because I speak enough Spanish.
But I mean, of course, you speak very good Spanish. I'm sure everybody thinks you're Latino.
They do.
They do. But I'm very open and honest and proud of my history. And I tell people, I come from a mixed background. My mother was half Swedish, half English. And my father was like my husband, African American. But I don't have any Latina in my past, other than family members. My little brother and a niece are half Mexican. So I've had Spanish in my family and heard it spoken in my family since I've always been a tia, always been an aunt.
Auntie.
So it's been in my family.
So you have 5 children together. One thing I always ask is when you told the kids you wanna go and you wanna move to Panama, like what was their like overall response to that?
I'll let you go first.
My children were already out of the house, so they were already in different states. I have a daughter in Texas with my oldest grandson and another grandson who's not the oldest, but 2 of my grandchildren. And that was a coping thing for me because they had been gone, I want to say 8 years before we even left. And then my son is in the military. He's in Georgia with his 3 children. So, the distance really isn't that considerable. My middle child, though, is back at home, and she's like kind of the mama's baby, mama's girl. But she's 32 and she's a mama now. And I have extended family there, so she's in good hands and she's very responsible.
I don't think that it's the distance. Because to tell you the truth, you can get to Panama faster from some United States, from some states in the U.S. than you can within the U.S. getting from states. Like within, I think that for kids and family, it's the international thing. So what about you, Daron?
Well, my daughters who grew up in Wisconsin both moved to Phoenix, Arizona before, we moved. And the thing that bothered them the most was not that I was moving to Panama. They thought, great, Dad. What bothered them was, where's your address?
Where's your address?
Yeah, because they want to mail you stuff. They want to keep in communication through snail mail. They want to know my exact address, and I said my exact address is Pedasi, Panama. That's it. I can drop you a pin, show you. That's it.
Exactly.
And so that's what bothered them.
That definitely takes some getting used to. As a matter of fact, Alfredo just left out to pick up some packages that were left for me at our mailbox, etc. I have not been able to embrace that. I have not. I've never mailed anything from Panama, and I mean, honestly, I'd rather not get mail here because I've gotten things in the mail where it costs $40 to take. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, don't send me stuff. And then another couple, she said they had to pay for like a card. Like, I don't know I guess there are different types of services here, but they have to pay like $4.25 just to get a card. And she's like, don't send me no Christmas cards. Now my husband was going and getting the stuff, but he wasn't never telling me how much it was costing him to get. So I'm with your kids on that. I wish that we had a regular address. That is something that I miss. So you guys so you retired in what year, Daron? Was it 22?
January of 2022.
2022. And Dayna, you just retired in 2023, right? Was it June of 2023?
It was June. I finished out the last year. It was a dog year for me. I actually have 4 more years before I'm qualified for my pension
Okay.
through the public schools in Milwaukee. But it was time, and I wasn't going to hold him up. And I mean, I don't really have to explain to people about, what it's like living and working as a teacher in the U.S. these days. So
it's like living in the U.S. these days, period. I
Sure.
mean, the teachers are, so undervalued. I mean, probably the most important job, in the
Right.
country.
Right.
And because some of the stuff that you see kids doing nowadays, I'm like, listen, you got to really want to do this, to put up with these kids and the parents and, preschoolers twerking and, I mean, all kind of foolishness. But what I would like to touch on is the fact that you left early. You said, what, I'm making a decision. This is a huge conversation right now.
yes,
Right.
About just deciding, what, for the few more years that I need to work to get those, few more dollars, I'm just gonna go ahead and choose my piece right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and choose my piece right now. And to be honest with you, the fact that we live here, me and my husband, we purchased here in 2012. And I always say we've been together 30 years, be 31 this year in November. And out of all the time that we've been together, buying a house here was the best, smartest thing we've ever done, because we set ourselves up for retirement. And you figure back when we bought our house, and we live in Breeches, the Gulf Norte. And we bought our house pre-construction. And we bought it for $160,000.
I bet you can't get it for that now.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I just say, so when you do decide to make that move and you leave your job early, you kind of gotta weigh it out, because I'm sure that where you live now and the amount that it costs for you to live your life in peace and in tranquility, it costs a whole lot less than when you were in Milwaukee, right?
yes.
Charlotte, we didn't even buy a house in Milwaukee together, basically because didn't want to commit to it, didn't want to get stuck with it, But we did buy a house in Panama right away. Matter of fact, sort of like you, but not quite. This house was under construction, wasn't even done when we bought it. And we had a list of 19 homes that we looked at traveling across Panama, and this was the second house we looked at.
Yeah. You know how when you go to the store and you're shopping for something and you find it right away, but then you still have to do your due diligence and look through the whole store to find out if it's the absolute best thing. That was Pedasi. We did our due diligence, so we did our homework. We came in the wet season and the dry season so that we could speak from a position of experience,
Yes.
right? Which is why we also wanted to push back our first interview, because once you get here, we've been here 7 months now, so I feel like
We can
now
speak a little bit.
right, we can tell you something about it. We don't want to come here and assume we know everything, because we don't.
And I got to tell you, Charlotte, it didn't hurt that this is the second least expensive home that we looked at.
No, that didn't hurt it.
So you don't have to tell me exactly.
Right.
First of all, I want to know two things. What was the price range of the homes where you purchased in Pedasi? And then also, what was your takeaway once you got to see the difference between dry and rainy season?
Tell you what, I'll just talk about the price of this home, and I'll let Dayna tell you about the house we looked at in Bocas during the rainy season.
Okay.
So the basic price of this house, including the amenities, the appliances and that, was $155.
$155.
That was it.
Brand new.
Yes.
But they built 3 more just to the as we're facing out to the right of us. Same basic model, except turned a different direction.
Really nice.
They're really nice, but their base price now is $22,000 higher than we paid for ours.
Not any bigger.
Not any bigger, just a year later.
Very
I was
nice.
almost close because I said 180.
Yep, you were close, not too bad.
More because more expats are coming there.
And now they're building 6 more,
Down the street. So
just 7 more, 7 more just down the street. And we don't know the price of those yet, but I bet you they'll be closer to 200.
yeah.
And they're all the basic same style,
Very modern.
just little changes here and there.
Very open floor plan, very modern, very simple. We were looking for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, a small pool, just the basic amenities because, and I was looking for a place that was flat because I suffer with arthritis.
Right,
Yes.
right.
It needs to be walkable. I need to be able to ride my bike. One of the wonderful things about moving here was we sold our cars, we're lightening our carbon footprint. We ride our bikes everywhere. So you're forced to get exercise. If you want to go eat at that restaurant, Thank you. Just letting go of the stress.
Yeah. Panama is definitely a whole lot less stress.
Has a physiological effect on it. So we're kind of getting off the topic.
No. We're fine. It's all all good. Let me ask you, with the house, so you have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. What do you think square footage wise it is?
It's probably right, almost exactly around 1,000 square foot.
Okay.
It's not a big house at all.
No, but we do have a large patio terrace, which is lovely. We just got our furniture, so that's exciting, and it's fun to decorate. And I'm going to keep with a minimalist theme because we didn't come here to just fill up this house and keep things dirty. Have to keep things clean,
And with our outdoor living space, I'd say it's probably another at least 12 to 1,500 square feet.
With the what? With the outdoor
With our
living space?
patio, we have an enclosed patio at the house.
Yeah, it's walled off.
Okay.
It's that white wall picket fence that I dreamt of.
So that includes the pool, the barbecue area, and everything else. It's a nice little patio. We just bought some patio furniture for it. And if you include the outdoor living space, it makes the house seem like it's double the size.
Yeah. It's just the two of you. And it's like, right. I think that one thing that we start to really process is that we don't need all this stuff. I'm reading a book right now called The Afro Minimalist, becoming the guide to becoming an Afro minimalist. And, she's talking about downsizing and why we hold on to things. And it really gets deep because she's talking about the way that a lot of us were raised, right. And just mentality that we have about things and having to have things. And I can remember growing up and people having plastic over their couches. It's like just thought we would never get money again to replace this stuff. I can remember people having roped off rooms and everything, and just holding on to things, being so attached to things. And I really had to let go of a lot of things. So I feel like that's something that we're doing anyway. But tell me this, and let me just stay on Pedasi for a minute. It's 4.5 hours south of the city, right? Okay, right. 4.5 hours south of the city. 4.5 hours south of the city. Then you have, what is it like? Like, is it like y'all been to Breeches de Golf and to some of the suburb areas around Panama City? Is it like similar to a U.S. suburb, or what is that like?
Oh no, it's a smaller fishing village type town. Yeah. It's maybe got 3,000 to 4,000 people, give or take. But yet it's got all the amenities. It does have an airport. It does have a hospital.
It does have a fire department.
It does have a fire department and a police station.
It is incorporated, and
it does have 2 banks.
Right. So gas
baby.
So it's more of a rural lifestyle. I don't know if
excuse me,
Breeches del Golf has chickens in their neighbor's yard there. I don't know if you have that, but
Oh, ma'am.
our neighbors have chickens and roosters, so you're going to hear that. There's a big field. Our house is right on the edge of town. So on one side, it's really very rural and it's El Campo, right? It's the country. But if you go
Right behind us, though, it's
the
a
other direction,
regular city.
it's a community and it's neighborhoods and houses and there's life going on and dogs and children. That's what I needed. I needed to have, I like the idea of having,
Community.
living in the country,
Yes.
but I have to have people. I have to have community and I have to have things to do and I need to see children. Yeah.
And we got the beach just down the street, too, which doesn't hurt.
It's a what?
The beach is right down the street.
Okay.
It
Okay,
doesn't
so
hurt.
it's right
Right.
down the street. So you do have like how long does it take you to get to your grocery store?
The grocery store by bike,
Bye-bye.
2 minutes, 3 minutes.
2 minutes. There's a fonda right down the street. Maybe we should tell you a little bit about Pedasi. We are about 10 minutes away from how many different beaches? There's about, we have access to about 9 different
If
beaches.
you were driving, you could reach probably at least 5 or 6 beaches within 5 or 10 minutes.
So we're really close. We're in the Azuero Peninsula.
Is
We're
the-
in the Los Santos district.
It's the driest part of Panama.
And it is the driest part of Panama, which is part of why we chose it, because we did look at another house
I was telling
on the Isla Bastimentos in Boca.
Bocas, yes.
And
Bocas del
we
Toro.
went to,
Yes.
we went to see that house, and there was a woman who was under construction. She wanted to sell it to us. It looked like something we might have wanted to do, but like I said, we went in the rainy season as well, and then the chitras, that's when they're the most active.
Oh.
And there's mangroves and things like that. And we stayed right on the
chitras,
water.
so everybody knows they're like sand fleas, right?
Right, right.
Museums, yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I had a really bad reaction
Oh
to
yeah.
the chitras. I got a few bites during the dry season too, but I had no idea what it was going to be like in the rainy season. So it was important to go and do that due diligence.
In the rainy season.
That house was lovely, but it was right on the water, so I was going to be subject to those chitras most of the year, and that to me. Plus, it's on an island. Okay. If I don't know, I think I told you that I bought all 6 of my grandchildren passports and all 3 of my children passports.
Awesome.
And it's already going to be 4.5 hours drive from the airport to get here, unless they take the small aircraft to.
You can fly here from Panama City in about 45 minutes.
But had we taken the house on Isla Bastimentos, it was going to be more prohibitive, because not only would they have had to have driven or flown
boat
into
ride.
Boca,
It's
it
a
would have been
boat
2 plates and a boat taxi, a boat ride. And consider furnishing your home by boat. Like, all of those things came into play. I was like, we're not going to complicate our lives anymore than we need to.
Yeah.
I can see you should
I don't think I would
that
I don't think I would like having to use boat for everything.
that was kind of a downside. At first, I thought it'd be exciting, but then the more you start thinking about it and getting realistic, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
And we're not getting
It might
younger.
be exciting for a weekend or a week.
Right. For a vacation, maybe.
Dry
But,
land.
but to live permanently, no.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why so okay, so now how close is Bocas to Pedasi?
By car, probably 5.5 hours.
Oh,
Maybe
There's
even
a
more.
lot of mountains and things that take you.
Maybe even 6 hours. It's a ways.
I think it might be more closer to 7 or 8.
No, it's not 8. It's about
From Pedasi,
yeah, it's about 7, 6, 7.
maybe. And we have
okay,
to.
so it's
that was
not,
the question.
excuse me, it's not nearby.
No,
No.
nowhere near.
Well, we're on the
What is it
Pacific
like?
side, and Boca's, we're on the far Pacific side,
And they're on the Caribbean
and
side.
down the peninsula of the Azuero Peninsula. And they are all the way to the northern west side of the country,
On the Caribbean.
on the Caribbean side. So yeah, it's a good piece. And then the mountains, like I said, they take more time. They take more time to get around.
So, okay, so you said in Boca, you experienced the rainy season there, and you knew it was good. You were going to get eaten alive, and that was like out. Um, and so then what? When you looked at so in Pedasi, what is the rainy or dry season like?
Tennessee only gets about, I might be a little off on this, but it gets roughly 45 inches a year only.
Yeah. About the same precipitation we would get in Wisconsin, considering snow, winter snow as well.
So is it cooler than the city, or is it about
Oh,
the
no.
same?
It's not. It's hot.
It's hot. It's hot and kind of humid.
What's nice about summer right now, though, is it's breezy.
Very breezy.
It can get pretty windy. And yeah, so that's the saving grace. If we get outside, we go out generally after the hottest hours of the day or before the hottest hours of the day. We move like the Panamanians, right? They don't come out during certain hours of the day because it's really hot. And
It's hot. Yeah, we try to get our walk out the way early because
Yeah,
by
right.
8:30, 9 o'clock it's blazing, But to tell
And
you,
that's
I love
pretty
it.
much up to, yeah.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love the hot weather. And, especially when I see all my friends back home in snow, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I
Yeah.
really like it here. So in Pedasi, you have the same sunrise at 6, sunset around 6.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
love it. Yeah.
You do. I
It
had
does
to
get dark early, but it's nice for just the continuity, the continuum of the day of what to expect. It can seem at first it did seem like it was earlier. It took a while to transition and say, "Oh, baby, no, it's only 7. We're not going to go to bed
Yeah,
right now."
that part. It messed me up because I could never really spend enough time here to get conditioned to it. Because I used to
Yeah.
come, remember, like before I actually transitioned here, I would come like once a month and spend 2 weeks. So I was spending 2 weeks here, 2 weeks in the States. And when 6 o'clock would come, first of all, your body thinks it's summer.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Because everything feels like summer. It feels like
Right.
summer. And no matter what month it was, it felt like summer. And in summer it gets dark late.
Right.
So
Yes.
Right.
when it would get dark at 6 o'clock, my body would feel like it was 8 or 9 o'clock. And
Yep.
then by the
Yep.
time 8 or 9 o'clock actually comes around, I feel like it's 10 or 11. And
Yeah.
I'm
Yep. Exactly.
oh my God. It
Right.
was hard for me to stay awake. Finally, I got adjusted to it though, but
Yeah.
that took a minute.
Well, it is nice that the sun does go down because we get that much needed relief from the sun because it is so warm. So,
I would like to
I mean,
have,
it's a give and take thing, right?
yes, because the geckos also come out when
Yeah.
the sun goes down. So,
Yeah.
so tell me
I
about
like the
tell
geckos
me about
actually.
that.
So, yeah.
You don't like geckos that take a Charlotte?
You don't like the geckos?
No, sorry. I think I'm
I
better
like
than
the
I used to.
geckos.
I'd rather see an iguana than to see a gecko.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So tell me what's the gecko factor where you are? I know you said because the first thing I hear is that you said there's like a field. Did you say there's a field around you?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So
Well,
that must mean you get
I'll
critters.
take a gecko over a scorpion any day.
Have you been
But
getting, do they have
we
scorpions?
we've had our one scorpion since we've gotten here,
And it
and
was itty bitty.
because this house is pretty airtight, it's brand new, it's cement. We keep it really clean. It's easy to keep clean.
Oh, and the cat
And we
adopted
have
us.
a stray cat that adopted us, so we feed her, and she does pretty good job of vigiling the
I deny the
the
cats.
happiness of
I
the.
deny the cat's ours, but the cat never goes away.
I keep calling it his cat. Like, your cat is meowing. She's hungry.
Don't give her a name yet.
She actually has
She
one.
has a
She
name.
came with a name. She was actually a cat that belonged to the family further down.
Oh, the cat lady.
They have rescue for cats, so they have a lot of them. But she didn't get along with the other cats.
She doesn't like cats. She doesn't like
She doesn't
dogs.
like dogs,
And she
and
just
she's very
decided she
particular.
was gonna live with y'all.
Yeah, she's particular about her humans too. So she just
She never comes in the house. She stays on the patio and never leaves.
Well, we have patio furniture out there now, but it's completely washable. But I'm allergic, so
Oh,
the cats, not dogs, but cats.
oh, okay. So, what are the geckos like? You didn't say.
She kills geckos. She kills crickets. She kills everything that comes by. She kills it.
Yeah,
She keeps us bug free and pest free.
yeah. Cats are really great for me.
Geckos in
Dogs,
the house, pretty much.
No,
we don't have any.
no geckos in the house.
Nope.
No geckos ever in the house.
That's not true. I had a
We had
really
one.
little bitty baby one in my shower. Little baby, so cute. But
But we don't have a lot of geckos
the
around.
geckos eat the mosquitoes. The geckos eat the insects that you don't
Yeah.
want. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. She looks
Don't give me the whole ecological.
Like trying to get rid of that.
Listen,
She said, I'm making the whole.
I saw a big old spider when we were at Mi Pueblito, man. One of my girlfriends took a picture of it. I might have her send it to me. It was like nothing I've ever seen. And I was like, where's a gecko now? Everybody always talking about geckos. Where's the gecko now? Because somebody need to handle this monster. Oh, yeah. So tell me about the community there, like foreigners, Panamanians. What is your mix?
I'm just going to put a round number out there because I'm not exactly sure what the exact population is. Okay.
Right.
Let's say the population of Pedasi, let's just for practical purposes say it's around 3,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Of that 3,000, there's maybe scattered around 200 to 300 expats
From different parts of the
from
world.
all over the place.
A lot of Canadians. There's a lot of Israelis. There's a lot of French people and destiladeros. Italian.
A lot of Americans.
We just met some people from Holland visiting. I don't know if they're living here.
Oh, Scottish.
Swiss,
You
Italian,
said a lot of
a lot of. Yeah.
Some South Americans. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But when we were moving to Panama, we decided we really didn't want to just go and live amongst more expats. We wanted to immerse ourselves in the community, and we have.
And the Panamanians are great. They're wonderful people.
Panamanian people are the most beautiful people.
Yeah.
Charlie, with my bad Spanish speaking self, as long as I try, they giggle, but then they help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they never make me feel bad, and they're always just great.
Yeah.
Come a long way with
they
the
really
Spanish.
appreciate it. Yeah, you said Darren's come a long way.
He really has.
I'm working on it.
There's that thing between like people who can't learn from their family or whatever. It's a different approach when you're in the community and you actually have to depend on using it. And there's a fonda that's right down from our house that I know that we would be frequenting a lot.
About 2 blocks away.
I went there one time because I spoke with the young lady there and I told her, mira, yo voy a estar mandando mi esposo acá. I'm going to be sending my husband here para hacer la compra, to do, the shopping.
To do the shopping.
Quiero que le hable en puro español. I want you to speak to him in just Spanish, even if you could speak English. Oblígalo a hablar español. Obligate him to speak Spanish.
Tortured me.
And because he's going to be coming here and I want him to use it, and I'm going to be sending him to shop.
Well, she was gone for a month, and I had to struggle with my bad Spanish and her patience and her sweet spirit. But she was very understanding, very helpful, and I got through the month of Dayna being gone. With her name's Esperanza, with Esperanza's help.
She's lovely. But she giggled about it. She's like, okay, de acuerdo, I'll do it. I'll get him.
Yeah. But
he has been applying it a lot.
That is community. And, Darren, you and I, it's almost like we're at a disadvantage because our spouses are bilingual.
Right.
Because, they can take care of so much. and I had just really fallen into that. And I still do sometimes. I mean, I know that I'm getting better because I used to would not even answer the phone because I knew
Mhm.
somebody when I say somebody, I was going to pick it up and I wasn't going to know what they were saying. And then there's like this uncomfortable silence, or, there's some words in English that you just know are so easy. You just think
Mhm.
anybody that doesn't even speak English would know this. And I think people speaking Spanish feel the same way. And they say
Right.
something like, girl, you don't know that? Like something really simple. And I'm like, I don't know.
I
And
know the feeling.
it was very intimidating. Um, and Alfredo would handle so much for me that
Hmm.
it was sort of a disadvantage.
Yeah, I
So I am learning more now. I used to wouldn't, call the front gate. I was like, Al, can you call the front gate? Tell them I have a visitor coming. But thank God, people that moved here like years and years ago, before Google Translate and everything. I mean, walking around with an English Spanish dictionary. Um,
Hmm.
we have so much assistance now. So you have a nice blend of foreigners, of expats, and Panamanians. So you do need to speak Spanish. Have
I
you
do.
have you created an expat community? Do the expats there get together and do anything?
There's a lot of different groups for
Hmm.
expats.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I've joined two of them, two or three, three. I've actually joined three of them.
Hmm.
I'm in a fishing group. You look surprised. I'm in a
and,
Well,
and
she
I'm
just
in,
told me in the beginning that that you like to fish, and I think I've
I've been,
seen pictures of you fishing.
yeah. Matter of fact, you'd like one of my Facebook posts,
Yeah, I love it.
and I'm in a breakfast group for expats,
Okay.
and there's a group called Hombres de Acción that I
Uh,
just recently joined, Men of Action.
Men of
They do
action.
community work around Pedasi. Like they
Yeah.
put in water tanks. They help people by doing what they can without interrupting the government or the town. For different people, people submit a request. Native Panamanians usually
a need.
a need, and if they can do it without getting in trouble or without stepping on anybody's toes, and it's not too expensive because we're just starting off, they will do it.
Yeah,
They'll try to anyway.
yeah.
Love
They
it.
did just install, like you said, a cistern for a family who didn't have access to water.
Mhm.
And so they try to make sure that they also incorporate as many native Panamanians into
Oh
the
yeah,
group as
in
well.
the
So
group
it's
we got a bunch of
not
native
just
Panamanians.
expats. It is Panamanian locals working in tandem with the Hombres de Acción. And I
Exactly.
think that's really great. And so socially, those are three groups Darren is involved in. So I'm really
Okay.
proud of him, very happy.
What about
Um,
you?
Myself, I've done some tutoring with a little girl whose mother I was doing some business with, actually the carpenter who did our table and chairs. But
Uh-huh.
just to get me going because I would normally have been teaching already for several months, so I could get a little, bored. But I started a Tuesday tertulia with some ladies at La Jungla,
Tertulia, what's that?
which is a
Tutoring?
restaurant. Una tertulia is like it's a conversation. It's a word where um, the intellectuals would come together and discuss things in Spain, authors and poets and writers, and they would just talk about, the topics of the day. So it's very casual, but this way we have English and Spanish speakers coming together
Mhm.
to exchange,
To teach each other,
to
basically.
teach each other and learn
That
from
we do,
each
we
other.
do. If you're ever in town, I hope you can come to our cafe and conversation. We do
I would love.
cafe and conversation the fourth Sunday of every month. We have our first one coming up on the 28th this month, and that's what we do. We invite Panamanians who want to speak more, who want to practice speaking English, other foreigners, because there's a lot of people from Venezuela, Colombia, Nicaragua, who want to practice speaking English as well. And then, of course, Black expats, most of us need practice speaking Spanish. And it's
Mhm.
fun. I've really enjoyed it, and I've really, been happy that people. It's just a matter of opening your mouth and saying it. Once
Absolutely.
you can do that and you feel safe to do it. For some of the people, it was the first time they ever tried to speak Spanish, and some of them have been here for a good while. And once they start, when they keep coming back, they're getting better and better and better.
That's good.
And so
That's good.
yeah, we
That's
we've
wonderful.
been a year and a half or something doing that. But man, the time flies, and I got to get ready to wrap up with y'all. But I'm going to say, what is your biggest lesson? What is the biggest lesson you've learned since becoming an expat? And quickly, one more thing. Tell me what other places you considered other than Panama. We got about 5 minutes.
So before we came to Panama, which really just ticked all the boxes for us, we looked at different places like
Ecuador,
Mexico,
Belize,
Costa Rica.
even a real quick look at Canada, believe it or not.
I thought we were going to go to
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
That's too
Because
cold, baby.
I thought for sure you wanted to go to Canada.
There's a lot of reasons why that one fell off the plate.
But
You said what?
What's that?
What did you say?
Oh, I can tell you for me, one of the things that I had to learn and get used to,
Mm-hmm.
I still had that American mindset that I gotta be very mistrusting, very lock every door, secure everything. Don't let your guard down, not even for a second.
Yeah.
And this town and these people, not saying things could still happen because they can,
Right.
not saying go, just don't use any safety or security. But the fact that we travel around, we don't even lock our bikes up when we go to a store or anything. How helpful the people are.
Yeah.
Just getting rid of that, letting go of that American mindset.
Yeah.
Where everything is good.
We just lock the door.
Right.
Like we have gentlemen that are still working on the construction around here, and they were working outside in on our terrace doing some woodworking, and it's such a default for us to just lock our doors just walking in, and people can hear that. They can hear if you're locking your doors. It's like it's really silly. It's actually very silly, and but it's so much a part of our culture. Coming from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you lock your doors, crime is opportunity. If you don't lock your doors, people will go through your car and take your things. And, we just don't have to worry about that.
I don't think I'll ever change from that. It's not that I don't feel safe, because I do. But I just keep my doors locked. At home, I used to keep my house armed all the time. And here I don't, but I think that I keep it locked because you never know, and somebody can, roll into the neighborhood. That's not the norm. I mean, it doesn't happen. I don't think we're as serious about it as we used to be, but I don't think I'll change that. I think I'm stuck with that.
Yeah. Dayna was out till 11:30 one night over at her friend's house. Hey, it's 11:30 at night. A lady out by herself.
So he shoots me a text. Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm just having a good time. It's the first time I had been out that late because, it gets dark, and that's like 5 hours after dark. So it does seem like a long time.
My mindset was protect, protect, protect. And she's saying, I'm fine. Leave me alone. I'm having a good time.
I rode my bike over to my friends. We had such a good time, and the time was just passing, and I just rode my bike home. She's like, "Are you sure we can give you a ride home?" I was like,
"So you feel safe,
quiet, safe and quiet." And then at night, there's a smell that comes from the vegetation. It's a sweet and spicy, herby fragrance, and I wanted to take that in. I enjoy riding my bike through the vegetation and just smelling that. It's just very relaxing being in this community, and there was nobody on the road. Not one person, just a dog here and there. Maybe a rooster, crowing out of time,
Well,
at the
I'm gonna tell you what. I hope that you guys can continue to enjoy that because Pedasi is getting it's the buzz. It's the buzz. I think that when you see the houses going up the way that they are, when you start seeing more expats moving there, probably things are going to change somewhat. You know
It
what I mean?
might. You're right.
Because it just because they'll start building. Now Panama City is so occupied that people are starting to build further out. But I just gotta go. But I mean, it was just amazing having this conversation with you. It's been wonderful to watch your process and how you planned. You got one retirement, did the next retirement. You got your residencies going. You came, you built the house. Did you finance your house or buy your house straight out?
We bought it straight up.
We bought it.
Yeah. That is the easiest way for expats to
Sure. I got to say one thing about you.
Sure.
You made it easy and possible for us to take that first trip because we didn't know what to expect. We were kind of lost. You hooked us up with Teo Jolly.
The best, absolute best tour guide we could have ever hoped for.
Yeah.
Because you put us in touch with him. We have a friend for life.
Yep.
We learned so much about every nook and cranny
So knowledgeable
of this country.
Yes.
And we actually got to meet his mom when we went to Bocas.
Wow.
And he gave me the courage when I came back the second time. We were here for a little over 30 days. I just rented a car and was able to drive around the country for 30 days with the confidence. And that was because of what Teo showed me.
Wow.
I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that.
Oh, thank you so much.
We weren't going to find him through any other, we weren't going to find Teo
We hooked up
through any other means.
And
we specifically wanted an Afro-Panamanian guy. We asked for that.
Me too.
You made that happen for us. We want people to talk to us about where we would fit in as a community and our identity, how we identify with the people of Panama.
Yes.
And with the contributions of the Afro-Antillians brought to this country and would give it flavor. And I just am so thankful. So thankful that you put us in touch with Mr. Jolly.
I wanted to make sure I mentioned that because he was amazing. He really is.
He is amazing.
Thank you. Teo has been with Beat from the beginning. And he is very, very committed, and he says to me, he said, he studied Afro-Panamanian culture and history. And he said, but until I came along, no one ever asked him.
Oh, wow.
That part. No one ever. He says, I got all this stuff in my head. And, every tour that you take, he always tries to come up with something new so that I can continue to learn because I'm there for everything, for every tour. And he comes up with new stuff all the time that I am continuing to learn as well. So I appreciate that. And I'll make sure that he knows that you guys showed him some love today. I'm so glad to have been able to meet you and to help your landing be soft here in Panama. Yes.
Absolutely. We would not have had that confidence to take that car and drive that car from Tocumen all the way back to Bocas had we not gone with BIP and take give us that excellent service.
It helped more than you know. Put it that way.
You have no idea. No idea.
It helped a lot. And you spent time with us originally before we got here. You spent a good amount of time on the phone doing some hand holding and some question answering, and we appreciate that.
We do. We love you, Charlotte. You are doing wonderful work for Panama, and I can't even say how much you're really, really helping.
You are
our
helping
community
you are
at home and here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me. I really love what I'm doing and seeing you guys prosper and then for us to be able to share with other people back home that this is an option. It's something that we can do is amazing. So thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for sharing your story as well. So I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye, kisses.
Hello.
And I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay.
Be in
Bye.
touch.
Bye.
Very nice.
And there you have it. Those were the Graves. And then you guys just means so much, guys, that we get to share our stories. It means so much that we get to be a part of, people making that transition. And sometimes, it's a lot of work. And when I hear those kind of stories, it just makes my heart so warm, and I'm so happy. So that is Pedasi. Those were the Graves. And if you have any questions, just post them or let me know. They're always happy to share. We could have went on and even talked some more. I love their love story. At the end of the day, we're pioneers. We're pioneers. We're making a difference. And so that's it. Those were the Graves. One of their favorite songs, and they had some good ones, baby. Their playlist almost looked like the Beat playlist. But one of their favorite songs was Devotion by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And so we're going to leave with that. I really love that song too. And I'll be talking to you soon. I got some surprising interviews coming up next. Y'all just going to have to wait and see. But I'm back, baby. I'm back. I want to thank my main man, Daryl Spears, Elite Conversations Media Podcast Media. And I just appreciate the work that he does. Of course, give a shout out to Riley and Devin and crew that came up with blacksedradio.com, giving us an opportunity to put our voices in the world. And so I'll be back soon. I got a lot to share with you guys. And follow me on Facebook, especially our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, comment. Instagram, we're very busy there. And you can always reach out to me. You can find me anywhere, Black Expats in Panama. And in the meantime, I'm finna get out of here. But as always, I just need you to know I love you. I love you. I love you. And there was just nothing you can do about it. This is your girl, Charlotte Van Horn, Black Expats in Panama, signing off, baby. Talk to y'all soon. Enjoy this Earth, Wind, and Fire. Ciao.